Today I realized that I noticed a pattern. Like Chinese immigrants or Chinese international students, or in general, like maybe people from less developed country. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to, if I should draw the generalization, but I think there's a lot of pattern in how Chinese international students and Chinese immigrants are trying to portray themselves, like their narrative style. I think their narrative style is usually it includes certain kind of struggle, like you struggle through a certain period, certain circumstances, and then you find certain your position in a new world. I think that's very true for immigrant narrative, that you're escaping certain new old system or defunct dysfunctional system, or like the old world, and you find out a new world that you already found is really interesting and full of opportunities. And for Chinese international students, maybe they're trying too hard to mimic American lifestyle, so that they might trim away that traumatic part, but it doesn't mean that this kind of mentality isn't there. But they're just trying too hard to mimic, imitate American kind of fluency, that kind of social ease. And in comparison, I feel like American commencement speaker, like I've been watching some commencement speaker recently, and I feel like American commencement speaking, especially from more mainstream American side, is more about building something, creating something, and exploring something. I feel like it says a lot about the core drive of people. For people who struggle to find a new opportunity and a new system, the core drive will be like struggling through certain circumstances and hardship, that you obtain something that you deem really valuable. But you're not the one who's trying to create, trying to build or explore. I think it is a core difference between the mainstream and the immigrant narrative, which is, I feel like no matter it's American or is it the scientific discovery age of Europe, the core drive has always been exploring something, building something, and connecting people in the process. If that's the core difference, then everything is more makes more sense now. For example, like projects, clubs, and activities are so important in American culture because people are trying to explore their identity, their hobbies, and their professional track, their academic interests, and they're trying to build something out of it, trying to connect with people and with the project, with the things that they're building, and they really identify themselves with the things that they're building. And from Chinese international students or immigrant narrative, people are not trying to identify themselves with the things they're exploring or building or creating. They're just exploring. They're just identifying themselves with the process of struggle and the final success that they obtain. I just feel like in general, it's. I wouldn't say that the survival or struggle kind of mindset is toxic or it's not good, because I really feel like in the past 10 years, I've been navigating my life with this kind of mindset. In high school, actually, we are taught to be creative, be build something out of your club experience or project experience. But it essentially those are very survival based elitism in China. They're trying to project their superiority over you if they build something, and the intent is not there. They're trying to imitate the American mindset of creating something. But if you think about it from a distance, America technological, financial, and social political dominance didn't rise from people trying to compete for gains. Um, for example, people can compete for material success or access to opportunities, but the people who are really driving the nation, driving the institution, driving the time forward will be the person, or that kind of people who are trying to build and create. If you think about it, if you think about things from like a building and creating or exploring perspective, a lot of cynicism could be more reasonable. For example, if you're creating something, building something, or exploring something, you might not really care too much about hypocrisy because you're in the process of creating something that is tangible. It's not negatable. But if you're focusing more on interest and powers and means extracted, or the way that you rise from certain containment, people are trying to contain you and you try to fight back. It's hard to argue for one side or the other. But if you're trying to explore, try to build something, create something, um, the framework is less established. In the no man's land, you're actually building something new. Since the interest's not that entrenched, people are not trying to bring you down or anything. In a way, exploration and building is a motivation in itself. Well, if you're struggling to establish yourself in a higher class, the motivation is what people have, what other people have, and what you want. You just try to extract what they have, instead of trying to build something with them. So I think that's a core difference in an immigrant or and as opposed to American technological and scientific community. Those people who are really exploring and pushing the world forward.